Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Pigskin Addicts back again with another video. And before I start this video, I just want to give everybody well wishes. If you live here in California, Southern California area, you see the weather, even up north too. The weather has been really bad. So I hope everybody is staying safe. Hopefully, you guys don't need to drive too much, stay off the roads. Things are really getting a little crazy out here. As Californians, we've never really seen this before, so you know I'm pretty flabbergasted by what's going on. I'm sure a lot of you are too, but I'm sending my well wishes to you guys. Be safe, get home safe, and try to avoid the roads as much as possible because the weather is crazy. Okay, so let's get into today's topic now. I've seen a lot of discourse about this quarterback matchup, and you know, obviously I broke down the coaching matchup yesterday, right? And there are a lot of, Charger fans, my fellow Charger fans, who didn't agree with what I had to say. And, I'm not here to make anybody feel good. I'm not here to fillet or fluff anything and everything that the Chargers do. This is not a feel-good channel. This is not a people-pleasing channel, right? Facts are facts. Doug Peterson is way more experienced than Brandon Staley. He's done it in the playoffs. Brandon Staley hasn't, and it is what it is, right? So to move on to this quarterback matchup, though, there's been a lot of discourse that has really surprised me about this quarterback matchup going into Saturday's game. A lot of people are putting Trevor Lawrence on the same plane as Justin Herbert, and I don't know why. I honestly do not know why, and I'm going to get into that right now, so let's talk some ball. So Trevor Lawrence obviously had the best year of his young career this year. This is his second year in the league. Obviously last year with Urban Meyer was a complete and utter disaster. It was a mess. Everybody knew it. So the Jaguars were able to make a very good coaching hire, one of their best coaching hires in a very long time, and Doug Peterson. And obviously the results are there, right? They are in the playoffs. They had 3 wins last year. They're in the playoffs now. Obviously, the maturation of Trevor Lawrence has been impressive. So this year, he's thrown for 4,113 yards, 25 touchdowns, 8 picks, and 66.3 completion percentage. Those are very good numbers for a second-year quarterback, considering he only had 12 touchdowns last year, 12 touchdowns, 17 picks. He has really started to mature, right? And I think this is a offense that he is really flourishing in, right? There's no shade on that. He has been really good this season, and he's come of age, and he has looked like the number 1 pick, obviously, right? So that is something good, right? That's something good for the Jaguars. It's something that they can build on, and again, there's no shade there. He's getting better, right? But to have these makeshift debates about who would you rather start a franchise around, Justin Herbert or Trevor Lawrence, I think it is very disingenuous on its face. And I think this topic only comes up because they play. And this is a very loaded question, right? If you're going to ask this question, and if, people on TV, sports media figures are going to talk about this, this is a loaded question. But Justin Herbert had the worst year of his career, right? The worst year of his young 3-year career. So this year he threw for 4,739 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and a 68% completion percentage. These numbers are elite numbers for pretty much anybody in the league. These numbers are a little better than Trevor Lawrence's numbers, as far as yards go. But this is the down year in Justin Herbert's career. So when you're looking at this and, people are trying to create this debate, you have to remember Trevor Lawrence's best year is Justin Herbert's down year. And really that's all you really need to know about that. These two guys are very talented. They have similar builds. Justin Herbert, I think, is a little more talented. He's bigger. He has a way stronger arm than Trevor Lawrence does right now at this point in his career. Some of the throws that he has made, Justin Herbert, in his career really can't be replicated by really anybody. Not Josh Allen, not Patrick Mahomes. Justin Herbert has a strong arm mixed with a very accurate arm as well, too. So he does things that no other quarterback in this league can do. But again, I think the question about this, right? This makeshift debate. I think it's completely disingenuous. And again, I'm not shading Trevor Lawrence at all. I like Trevor Lawrence. I'm a fan. And I think he is going to get better, right? I don't think this is the best he's going to get, but I think you cannot really have this debate. You can't say that this debate is fair based off of what Justin Herbert has done since he walked into the league, right? Justin Herbert has also dealt with bad coaching. Some of it has come this year, last year. Most of it came the Anthony Lynn era, but both of these guys have not really played with stacked teams. You would not call them stacked teams. Even this year, both of these teams are still, trying to find themselves, right? They're not stacked teams. They're not world beaters. They're not going to go out and, impress in that manner. So both of these guys are still playing with teams that could be improved a lot. So I think you have to take that into equation either. And I just don't think that this is a debate. Again, this is a loaded question, and this question only comes up because they are playing this coming Saturday. But outside of that, I really, really don't see this being a real legitimate type of debate. Now, the difference in the quarterbacks this Saturday, it is very, very different, right? Now, these guys are similar, right? They're similar. They're built similarly, all of that, right? But the difference is going to be very, 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 very obvious, right? So basically what it boils down to here, Trevor Lawrence cannot have a great game and the Jaguars can still win versus Justin Herbert. If Justin Herbert doesn't have a great game, the Chargers will not win. And, as Charger fans, we know this, right? And should it be this way? No, it shouldn't be this way. But we're in the playoffs now, right? We can't cry over spoiled milk. This is the way the team is built. This has been the way the team has been built for the past couple of seasons. And it is what it is, right? We just have to make do with what we have. Now, if you are looking at this from a standpoint of numbers and things like that, I think Justin Herbert's numbers are going to be much, much better than Trevor Lawrence's because they have to be, right? Justin Herbert has to do everything. He has to have a big game. He has to make the throws that he always makes, right? He's going to throw the ball a bunch of times. We already know this. So as far as numbers go, again, this is not really a fair thing to compare, right? If you're comparing nights, because Herbert can end up with 350 yards and the Chargers can still lose, right? Trevor Lawrence can have a really pedestrian game as far as numbers go. He can go, 20 for 30 for 180 yards and a touchdown, and they can still win. And I think that is the one thing that everybody needs to recognize, right? Look at these numbers, but look at them on a curve, right? Look at them the way that these teams are constructed. And if you do that, then you can kind of have a better understanding of what each guy has to deal with. The degree of difficulty, it couldn't be any more opposite, right? Justin Herbert has to do everything. This is hard. There's a lot on his plate. We know this. He's played with broken ribs this season. That's one thing that people fail to mention. The broken rib cartilage from week 3 all the way up until like week 9 or 10 when he started to look a little more healthy. That was something he had to deal with, right? So there is a lot on his plate, and he has to shoulder most of the load. That's what he has to do. He knows it. The team knows it. He knows that he can't afford to have an off night. There's no Justin Herbert off nights where the Chargers can really win. They're not built that way. Everybody understands that. But the Jaguars, on the other hand, the Jaguars were a top 10 running team. They can run the ball. Travis Etienne, he's played really, really well this season. So well that they were able to trade the other backup running back, James Robinson. And they really hadn't lost a beat, right? They still run the ball at a pretty good clip. I think Doug Peterson has been a little, quick to go away from it the past couple of weeks, but I don't expect that in the playoff game. I expect him to run the ball. I expect him to test this Chargers defense, and I expect that run game to give Trevor Lawrence a lot of help. They obviously need that to open up the play action game, and once they do that, they try to hit you over the top. They have a lot of weapons, and they have guys that can threaten you downfield. So Trevor Lawrence is going to get a lot of help this weekend. He's going to get a lot of help from his run game. He normally always does. And I expect him to really come out and test this Charger run defense. Now, on the flip side, Justin Herbert really, you can't really count on the help from the running game, right? Now, there have been games where the Chargers have run the ball really well. Just recently, they did it against the Rams, right? Ran for 192 yards. But they didn't run all that well against Denver last week. And this run game is really, really just not consistent. So you cannot count on this run game having a big night, right? Obviously, if they do, that would be a huge boost, but you cannot count on it, right? Week in and week out, you can't count on this run game doing enough to, threaten the other team to bring down a safety, or, to maybe want to go to some bigger people up front, right? Maybe, instead of a 3 or 4 down lineman set, maybe they bring in a 5th down lineman. The Chargers don't run the ball that well. Everybody knows this, right? So it's going to be up to Justin Herbert to make throws in tight windows like he always does. He can do it, but again, should it be this way? No, not really, but he just has to do that. He has to do that in order for this team to have a chance to win. Now, I briefly mentioned the run defense for the Chargers. Again, I've mentioned this in a couple of past videos. Is this run defense really fixed? We're going to find out very quickly on Saturday night. We're going to find out if this run defense is really fixed. Denver was able to exploit this run defense pretty badly on Sunday. This run defense was playing really well, right? For the past previous 4 weeks before the Denver game, they were playing well. They were getting stops, and they were forcing teams to have to be really good on 3rd down and forcing them to have to throw past the sticks. If the Chargers are not able to do that, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day for this defense. This defense has to stop the run. It doesn't matter what Brandon Staley calls. It doesn't matter, blitz packages. It doesn't matter. All of that doesn't matter if they are not able to stop the run. You have to stop it there. They have to. They cannot get beat by the run game. If they get beat by the run game, it's going to look very, very bad. There's already questions. There's already a lot of talk and chatter, right, about the safety of his job and whatnot. So you just don't even want to get there, right? This should be the best run plan. This should be the best run plan all season long. They should try to stifle as many run plays as they can. Try to stifle them, right? 1, 2, 3 yard gains, right? Anything past that, and you're getting in the trouble area. So that is going to be the name of the game for the Chargers defense, stopping the run. Now, offensively, the Chargers are very, very one-dimensional. I mentioned it earlier, and they are going to throw the ball a lot. And obviously, the Mike Williams injury is going to play a big, big factor in this. Everything that we've heard, they expect him to play. He's been listed as day-to-day. They don't know when he's going to practice. I don't know if that's that big of a deal, but at the end of the day, he's going to have to be out on the field in order for the Chargers to really, really be able to put pressure on Jacksonville's defense. Without him, you lose a lot of speed, you lose size, and you lose a offensive matchup, the best offensive matchup that you can have with Mike Williams, his size and his speed and his catch radius. You lose that if you don't have him on the field, or if he's not, anywhere near 100%, you lose that. So the Chargers are going to have to. They're going to have to try to be as balanced as they possibly can. Again, they don't need to run for a lot of yards, but they need to show it enough that the Jaguars respect it. So play action can be a factor. That's really what it's going to boil down to, right? It's going to be the name of the game. Play action on offense, being able to go downfield and, take some of the shots that they were able to take in the first half against Denver last week. Justin Herbert looked really good. He looked really, really in rhythm. His arm looked amazing, right? He looked like a jugs machine. If you watched the game and if you, covered Herbert up with your hand and just watched the ball fly, it looked like a jugs machine. That's how hard he was throwing the ball. So I think he is, if he's not 100%, he's pretty close to 100%. So I expect Herbert to play really well. But it's going to boil down to, the rest of the team. Defensively, they are going to have to do their jobs. But this quarterback matchup here is it's different. It's different. Both of these guys have different jobs to do. It's all on Herbert, and for Trevor Lawrence, he has some wiggle room, right? He has a little bit of room for error. Justin Herbert, on the other hand, does not. So this is a matchup of two different quarterbacks with two different, expectations that they have by their own teams. And, if Herbert doesn't live up to his, the Chargers, they lose. He has to have a big game or else they lose. It's different for Trevor Lawrence. He has the luxury of a pretty damn good run game and, a pretty damn good play caller in Doug Peterson as well, too. So this is going to be an interesting matchup, guys. I can't wait. This is getting closer. I'm going to be, touching on the Mike Williams injury a little bit going forward, probably later on today. So you'll be hearing more of me. But that's all I got for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Shout out to all my new subscribers. Really appreciate you guys. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. And don't forget to smash the like button on your way out as well, too. I'll be back again tomorrow with more content. So until next time.